Hey everybody, we're here today to talk a little bit about my company, Fullerton Strategies, and my team has come up with some questions for me to answer off the cuff that I have not seen before, so you'll be seeing me answer them for the first time and probably bumbling my way through it a little bit, but here we go. Okay, WeWork. Agree or disagree and tell us why. WeWork was a B2B company that needed the social presence of a B2C company. Yes. That is correct. So WeWork is a co-working company that exploded onto the scene in 2010 and grew to a $48 billion valuation and basically needed to build not only amazing spaces, but create a brand presence that excited people about coming into the office, which is not an easy thing to do. It's frankly, especially it seems in this post-COVID world, seems even more of a challenge and less appealing, but we were tasked with creating social accounts that made work seem fun and interesting, and also really a fascinating project to find ways to make work more enjoyable for people. You know, we're spending, at that point, 40 hours a week in an office, which generally was kind of a soulless, kind of terrible place. And we were creating environments that were a lot more enjoyable. There were a lot more common spaces for people to collaborate. And we had to project that out to the world so that when people saw those social accounts, they were like, I want to work here. And so that is what we did. A mix of, basically what you would call design porn, which is just, we had amazing spaces. We used a lot of creative artists to design unique places, murals. We were big on neons, but also telling the stories of the people who work there and the things that they were able to do, or were even able to build businesses within their WeWork space. I know I've heard from lawyers who all of their clients were from their building. I've heard of digital marketers who got many clients from just like having coffee with people, and our job was to tell those stories in an interesting way. And so that's what we did for 5 years. And it was a very, very fun and interesting experience in which I learned a lot. There's a part 2 to this question. And three. Tell us about your team's direct impact on revenue and how you got there. Well, we brought in a lot of revenue. So at the last 3 years of my time there, I was the vice president of content and channel marketing. So that was essentially all of our digital channels, website, SEO work on there, social, email, in-app marketing, even our building screens were on my team. So obviously the website was a huge driver of revenue. You could go on there and you could, book your space and you were on your way. And, I think the website was, without getting into specific numbers, in the tens of, if not, hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue. The SEO program was bringing in tens of millions of dollars off of a very small spend. And so we worked very closely with our team to develop the strategies to do that, and including separating out office pages. So some were listed as co-working spaces and some were listed as office space because people search differently. And so splitting those out brought in a lot more people because it raised our SEO dramatically. That was a massive one. We had a big influencer program that revenue was 3-to-1 off the expenses. So 3 times the revenue off of one time the expense. Worked with influencers to actually give discount codes for people to try WeWork. And because we used specific codes, we could track that. And so we knew we got thousands of people into our spaces because of this work with influencers. So, I think that we had a massive impact on revenue, definitely in the 9 figures, which is something I'm very proud of. Oh, and then we have a third. What surprises people the most about what you enjoyed about working at WeWork? I feel like I've talked about WeWork so much. I don't know what's the surprise anymore. I think there's a perception at WeWork that it was just a party and that it was not strategic and we just got a bunch of money from a big company and flushed it all down the drain. And that's not true. There was a lot of amazing work that happened there. The people that worked there were some of the most talented people I've ever worked with in my life. Serious people who were doing serious work. And of course, the narrative around WeWork was related to the IPO and those things. And yes, that's obviously a huge part of the story, and I understand that. But what hasn't really been told is that there was real serious work being done there, and really creative folks and who were not involved in any of the shenanigans and did great stuff. And I just wish more people would know that, because the narrative, like there was a TV show where it made it seem like everyone thought they were getting rich on the IPO, and that wasn't true. And but like it was a very cool company that just obviously had some serious missteps along the way.